Hi, I'm Francesco Rampa, head of the Food Security Program at ECDPM. Today we have our colleague and guest, the part of the management team at the Sustainable Economic Department, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Netherlands, and strategic advisor on policies. Welcome.
Thank you.
We would like to talk to you about the recent trend in development cooperation to try and support better private sector for development, in particular connect what governments are doing with their bilateral aid and also what the private sector itself can do, in particular the European private sector. How do you see this unfolding in the case of the Netherlands?
Yeah, well, we've been working very hard to define our policy and now are implementing our programs. And like you said, of course, there's a strong role for the government to play to make sure that there's a good policy in place for economic development. But moreover, when you talk about growth, economic growth, finally it's companies basically that create new jobs and create, of course, opportunities for new products also that should be sold to the market. So we're looking for this cooperation between companies and governments. One of the things is that we are working on a better business climate for companies in developing countries. We help governments to make sure that they have proper taxation in place, but we also support trade unions and employers' organizations to make sure that this whole setting is well in place. We have strong infrastructure programs, for example, so that's working quite well. And we have also opportunities for direct support to companies. They have to work under strict conditions, conditions of corporate and social responsibility to make use of those grants we have.
And do you think there is a room for the European Union and its institution to better coordinate a joint approach when supporting the private sector for development in developing countries? Do you think it is possible and realistic to try and do things better together as Europeans?
Yeah, I think it's always good to sit together with European colleagues and to learn from each other and to learn from policies, but also from practical experiences. And in particular in this new area of public-private partnerships, of course, we should exchange views on this. For example, how we put conditions to companies that would like to work with our programs. Like I've just said, in terms of corporate and social responsibility, that's an area where we could have more cooperation. And also we should expose to the world that the EU is one open market. So if a company would like to export its products to anywhere in Europe, of course it's free to work with the Netherlands or with Finland or with Italy. Perhaps we treat that too much on a bilateral basis yet. Again, it's just one open EU market. So these are some examples where I think that we should sit together in Brussels and exchange views.
Taking in particular the case of agriculture in Africa, it's become important and also there is an increasing trend in investment also of European companies in African agriculture, also because it is one of the few places in the world there is still a lot of arable land, etc. But sometimes the African stakeholders are concerned that this is mostly an intervention by large corporations from Europe to basically acquire land and then extract the resources without necessarily helping the local private sector. How do you see this need to keep together different type of objectives while doing private sector for development?
Yeah.
Do you think there are cases where this needs to be strengthened, this kind of assurances?
Yeah, I think also in agriculture there are opportunities for private sector to work and also for foreign companies to come to countries. But of course the country should have a clear policy about how they would like to develop the agriculture sector. They should make sure that land rights are properly in place, that farmers have clear ideas about ownerships. They should make sure that the banking sector is well in place, so that at least the farming sector in their countries is getting stronger and has a good basis to work together with the private sector from abroad. I think there are a lot of opportunities. For example, the Dutch agriculture sector has good experience in horticulture and water management. So those solutions we have. But again, it should be those companies of those countries themselves that dictate the rules of the game. And then really look for a partnership to help the agriculture sector forward.
And do you think a framework, a general policy framework like the Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program, the CAADP, could be that umbrella that tries to ensure that international African public-private partnerships are actually serving some of the public objectives, really supporting small farmers? Is that the kind of framework you recommend strengthening?
Yeah, I think it's very important that the CAADP process supports countries to work on those agriculture policies, and also specific components like more cooperation in research, new varieties, better training of farmers. A lot of things can be done in an African perspective or in a regional perspective in Africa as well. So we're very supportive to the CAADP process, and also in that, of course, finally it should also be about marketing products, not only the primary production, but also assisting farmers to sell their products for a fair price to markets.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us.
Welcome, thank you.